Okay, Shane, so here's your tour around your new lighting rig for your Godzilla. First thing you have here is a battery pack which has a switch on it. You want to make sure that you shut that switch off when you're not using it, because the circuit board does have a program running on it that's waiting for the input from the trigger switch, and it is always draining the battery a little bit. It takes a long time for it to drain, but nonetheless it will eat your batteries up a little bit. So there's your battery pack. The battery pack attaches to the circuit board. This is your controller. There's a PIC microprocessor on it. I know you don't probably care a whole lot about this, but there's a microprocessor on here, and also on board there's a potentiometer, and that's what you will use a small screwdriver to adjust the ramp up and ramp down rate, and I'll demonstrate that in a minute. Okay, so next thing to talk about are your two LEDs, and the LEDs are mounted to the end of wires here. Those wires have some quick disconnects on them in case they would ever burn out. You will not have to do surgery on your entire kit to get them out. Essentially what you'd have to do is just disconnect them and tell me that you need some, and I can send you new ones. The other thing to know is that the LEDs, the leads on the LEDs come out the sides. If you choose to drill a hole straight up through the back, you can bend these leads back without any issue. So you could turn the wire sideways, hold it in your fingers there, and just bend the leads back. You can only do that one time because the leads are relatively fragile, but they do allow you to do that one time before they go bad. Okay, the next thing to talk about would be the trigger switch. And the trigger switch, basically, it has some hardware on it. If you want to mount this to a panel or something like that, you could do that, or ignore it, delete the nut and the washer that's on there. I also put some heat shrink on here and stiffen this up. There's some glue back here to hold it tight, and then there's some heat shrink so that the wire doesn't unravel on you. At any rate, so you can hold it in your hands just like that and trigger it. And then I guess I'm going to go ahead and do the demo now. Get the camera set up correctly. There we go. Now I'm going to go ahead and turn the switch on. All I have to do to get the thing to run is press the trigger switch, and you can see that the LEDs come on really quickly. I'm going to trigger it a couple times. Okay, now if I want to slow that down, basically all I have to do is turn the potentiometer on here counterclockwise to slow things down. So you can see that slowed it down a little bit. Again, the LEDs have to get to full intensity before you can trigger them again to shut back down. I'll do that a couple times again. And then I'm going to go ahead and run that out even farther. Okay, so I'm getting in the zone of what you were asking me about, or basically, 6 or 7 or 8 seconds. I think that the maximum duration that you can set the ramp up is for about 8 seconds, but I'll go ahead and demonstrate this setting. So I'm probably at about 3/4, and you can see as this goes, it's slowly continuing to ramp up and ramp up and ramp up. And then eventually it gets to its maximum brightness, which is kind of hard to see because the LEDs are pretty bright white. But I'll go ahead and trigger it again, and we should start to see it ramp back down. There you go. So I think that's about what you asked for. I'm going to go ahead and set it the maximum duration, and then I'm going to do a count. I'll let it get to full intensity. I'm going to say that those are at full intensity now. I'm going to go ahead and hit the trigger switch again, and you will see I'm going to go ahead and count that. So 1001, 1002, 1003, 1004, 1005, 1006, 1007, 1008. So somewhere around 8 seconds is the maximum that you could set the pot to. Again, just a basic slotted screwdriver. Slotted screwdriver will do the job. And I don't think there's anything else to tell you. It's pretty straightforward. The battery pack does operate from 3 AA batteries. I recommend alkaline batteries, obviously, because they last longer. I guess that's it. I appreciate your business and your patience with letting me put this together for you. I will talk to you the next time. I'm going to ship in the next day or so, so if you have any questions, let me know between now and then, and I will get back to you promptly.